Welcome back to the channel, folks. My name is Brandon, and you were watching M.O.N.Comics, and it's just a Saturday night hangout live stream. I've got a bunch of my buddies backstage. I'm just going to bring them out. I asked them to come hang out to do some CBC award nominations, or if you in the chat have any questions. Richard Westfall is a committee member, but tonight I haven't hung out with a couple of these guys in a while, and Richard, I've only been on a short time with you, but I got Mr. Akins from What's on the Comic Rack. I got Richard Westfall, super fan, Super Blue Wrench, Comic Book Community Awards committee member. I've got Bigfby McFly, the comic guy, and I got the comic collector coach, Doug Bakken, my hetero life mate. What is going on, guys? How we doing?
Good.
Doing well.
Awesome. Thanks for agreeing to come on. And we're going to talk about the CBC awards a little bit. I think we were talking backstage. I think this is the 5th year. And for those that are in the chat or watch this on the rewind that aren't familiar with it, it is an award for YouTube Comic Book Community Award Show started by Brian LCS. I think this is the 5th year. Someone will correct me, but this is I think it's the 4th or 5th year.
Yeah,
and
this is the 5th.
It is? Okay. And I had been watching it since I first got into YouTube. I thought it was really cool because it's, someone who started it and then got a committee together that are offering their time, their valuable time to recognize channels and not only give awards, but bring awareness to a lot of channels out there with all sorts of different sub counts that you might not find because the algorithm is not playing nice that day. So I think it's a really cool thing. And, anyone who has any questions in the chat that wants to know anything about the CBC Awards, Richard has been given carte blanche to talk about them tonight. I've got a question for him. I'm going to ask backstage. But speaking of chat, from the future, we have Dave from Still Only 35 Cents. He won the Best New Channel last year, and I thought that was very well deserved because he's a great YouTuber with an awesome collection.
He's also on the committee.
Yep. He should be. He's got good input. Pressedcomics, Matt, what's going on, buddy? He's my new comic book presser and cleaner. Well, Comic Spa is backed up for 2 years now. He was telling me he's officially backed up for 2 years. Jabs Expensive Paper. What's going on, buddy? We got Doug in the chat. We got Richard chiming in.
With his
JSS Brooklyn with his wrench chiming in. Dope Comics, what's up, dude? You were one of my nominations tonight, actually. If I put you in there, we'll get to that in a bit. Anyone else new? Oh, Nate from Hall Yeah Comics. I believe I nominated Nate too. Fun, great guy. Another teacher just getting done with the school year. Los, what up, buddy? My brother right there. The Library 88, thank you for stopping by as always, man. I appreciate it. All right, we covered the chat. We got 10 people watching. Akins, you were nominated when we first started YouTube years ago. You were nominated for Best Unknown Channel, were you not?
Yes, I was. That seems like that was a long time ago.
It's insane. Like, we've known each other for a while now, and just time keeps clicking on, right?
It does keep clicking on and stuff. And they don't even have it's not called the Best Unknown Channel now. It's Best New Channel, right?
Yeah.
So
Derek, what's going on? Richard, so a question I asked backstage that maybe you can clear up again is, I always wondered, like, we see all these nominations happening, right? You go to the CBC Awards website, Brian updates them on Instagram from time to time. Once a channel's been nominated, how do they then become a finalist?
The first thing is that Brian takes what was entered from your submission and puts it into a spreadsheet. And if the names match up, or if someone just puts what's on the comic rack, then it goes in there for two items. Some channels, people have different ways of nominating. We're going to use Colossus Collector as one. They'll put Colossus Collector, or they'll put Council of X if it's for like an ongoing series. So it'll be in there twice. It'll be one for the submission. If I put in for Colossus Collector and you put in for Council of X, then it'll be in that spreadsheet, one vote for Ryan for Colossus Collector, one for Council of X. And then when the nominations end for the first round, you consolidate all those names and say, this is the same person, people just put it in differently. And then you take the summation of the first round, and the top 5 nominees for that category move on to the second round, and that's where you can only pick between these nominations.
Awesome. Thank you for that clarification. And if anyone in the chat has any questions about the CBC Awards, please jump in the chat. Just leave a question, and we'll make sure we get it to Richard. Doug, as a newer YouTuber, what are your thoughts on the awards? You're talking about it last year, how you found a lot of channels.
Yeah, last year was the first year that I watched, and largely because, from following you and branching out, following everybody here, and leading to Brian LCS and finding the CBC Awards, I must have subscribed to at least a dozen channels that I had not heard of before, was not familiar with, because of the awards. So for that, I think they're great. And Richard was saying that's one of the main reasons for even having them is to get exposure for folks who might not otherwise get very many subscribers, or might not pop up in the algorithm or whatever. And so I think they're great. I mean, they're entertaining. They, everybody who works on them does a great job, and the exposure is awesome.
Couldn't agree more. Bigby, you're a longer YouTuber. You've been nominated for some categories and stuff. How do you like?
I've been around just a little bit longer than you. I had the same year that all of you guys started. The same year I started.
Well, you got you were nominated for Comic Community Builder with your comic book shout out that lasted well over a year.
I need to start that up again. Thanks for making me feel guilty again.
Well, the thing is, what up, Dr. Plagueis? The thing is, like, when you run something for well over a year, it's not like you just do it and pass it off and it's done. You're constantly engaged in it. So it's not like, it's a lot of, you doing YouTube is a lot of work and it takes passion, but to do that to do a movement inside of it takes a lot of work. So
yeah, I would say, like, I'm happy that people are still carrying that on. They may not call it hashtag comic book shout out, but they're still shouting out other channels and bringing attention to new channels, and we're building up the new guys. And yeah, and I'm excited to see all the new guys, Hall and Lettuce and all these guys coming through. So it's really cool.
And there's some other great new channels.
Of Dr. Plagueis, he has his paper and plastic show. That's his. He finally started doing his show a little while ago. So.
What's his sub count, Bigby? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't know. Plagueis, what's your sub count? It's not huge, but it's he's got a new co-op show that he does, and he's awesome.
What's up, Izzy? How you doing, brother?
I think Coach made a good point about the algorithm. I've noticed that I've been on YouTube for a long time, and I've noticed that certain channels are not appearing in my feed. I have to go to them. You're one of them, Mon. You don't come up.
I'm shadow banned.
Yeah, it's almost like you're not coming up. Like, I know you're putting something out, and I go and look for it, and I find it, and I watch it. But we seem to get in niches, or it pushes us in niches, and it goes, oh, you've watched this person watches this person, and then you get put in this little category, this little niche of people. And I think this awards is a good way of breaking out of that niche, breaking out of the algorithm, that it's pushing you to watch these. Hey, I want you to watch these. And, it's funny that you and Lunch Money Comics doesn't come up in my feed anymore. It's a lot of the newer people like Up and Adam and Big Nasty, and those come up constantly in my feed. But the ones that I'm, loyal to, I guess maybe the algorithm's thinking that, well, I know he's going to go to these. Let me start feeding him these. And I know we've talked about the algorithm a long time, because like you said, when we first started, it's a process. You kind of like, hey, should I be posting at this time? What's the best time? I need to post consistently so that people constantly see me. I know we've talked about the algorithm before, but it's weird how the algorithm works. It's a fickle little thing out there that kind of pushes us certain ways, and if you don't fight against it, it's going to push you to right here, and then you're going to be stuck.
Everyone go sub up Doc Plagueis. Let's get him to 100 tonight if you're in the chat. What were you gonna say, Richard? I'm sorry.
If you want to see videos from M.O.N.Comics and Lunch Money, just hit this subscribe button.
There you go.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. It'll give me a notification, but it's not like when I press YouTube, you've got your thumbnails that are sitting there. And M.O.N.Comics and Lunch Money are no longer the ones that appear up there anymore.
I told you I pissed YouTube off. I came after them for money, and I pissed them off.
It's Big Nasty, it seems to be up and at them. It's other comic book that appear up there at the top, and I have to go like,
you know what though?
I scroll down, I go, oh, well, here's Mike. Oh, here's Ryan. Here's, somebody else. And it's way down there at the bottom. So it seems to be feeding. It's putting those at the top. It's like a Google search. Like you go to Google, it's almost like Google is going, okay, I'm going to feed these guys first to this person because he's looking for it. And it's just weird to me who it feeds to you. And like I said, you get in this niche of just watching these. And I go, oh yeah, it's Friday. I know Mike's got a video out. Let me go look for his video because it wasn't up there at the top.
It also likes consistency too, right?
Yes.
Like, that's what I was just gonna say. Is Big puts out a lot of videos. I mean, he pumps out content, so he's constantly popping up in the feed just because of his consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. I mean, the folks that maybe like post maybe once a month or every other week maybe won't show up in the feed as often as somebody who's posting 2 times a week or every single week, something like that.
What's Plagueis' paper and plastic
if stuff's not popping up, check your subs because YouTube will randomly unsubscribe you from people. So that's happened to me multiple times where I'm like, why am I not seeing this guy's videos anymore? And I go over and go, I was subscribed to him. Yes. And every once in a while you'll see your subscriber count drop by like 10. Mm-hmm. It's like, what happened? And I think they just randomly go through and they go, we'll see if he really wants to watch that channel.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
a lot of times they're weeding out the bots and stuff, but I think they just kind of randomly do that.
Interesting. Well, guys, I'm going to try to screen share. Let's get down to some nominations, and we'll show people in the chat if they aren't familiar with it or people are watching the rewatch. Don't laugh at me, guys. This is
never say don't laugh at me.
This is when we're all going to have to cover for you because that's what happens when I try to screen share.
Start pulling out comments.
My God, it's working.
Yay.
It's alive.
Oh, there's Paper and Plastic Show. Everyone go sum up Paper and Plastic Show. All right. So we see the nominated creators and channels. We should go through this a little bit. Can you guys see it? Because I can't see you anymore because I'm just using full screen. So some known ones. Biggie Shack, 9-panel grid was on last year. I haven't heard a ton of these. A Hero Story, Absolute Geek. Is that Absolute? No, that's Absolute Denim Nerds or Game of Nerds. I'm thinking. Alan.
If we look on this one, it's going to be Alan the Comic Collector Geek, and he might be down further with just Comic Collector Geek as well.
Okay.
That's when we go back later on and consolidate those ones.
Okay. Martin's on here. Nice to see him nominated again. Austin LeMay, great artist, I think. Automatic Comics. So yeah, these are a list. You can find this on CBCAwards.com. Big McFly is nominated. Big Nasty. Bleecker Street Comics, Bleecker Hair. I'm pushing for Bleecker to win. Casino Comics, my buddy Mike. Casually Comics. Ryan deserves a nomination.
Bronze Age Nerd for best beard. Hey.
Hell yeah. Hey, he should. Yeah, that guy's got a great beard. Chris the Comic Vet, Chonko Comics and Nerd Culture. He's relatively new. Cheap Comic Culture.
I like that guy's good. He's
good. So this is, you guys can go see this on the website. I'm not trying to make this go forever, but I'm going to get back to the ballot page, and you guys feel free to chime in if I have a channel that I haven't that I don't have like picked a category for. I will take. Anyone can email me.
Suggestions. You'll take suggestions.
I will take suggestions. You guys see everything going fine?
I haven't done mine yet.
Yeah.
I should line up too.
Okay, so we start with the first tier under $4.99. Best comic book show, best ongoing series. And I'm going to nominate some people. I'm late on the nominations. Some people get them out quicker. But so how should I nominate? I want to nominate the Sunday Hangover show.
So that'd be a team show, right? That's not a. So that's a.
It's an ongoing series, though.
A collab, right? Ongoing series, yeah.
Yeah.
Would that count, Richard, as a best ongoing series?
Yeah. The tricky part is it's split. I think half with Nate's channel and then half with Les. channel. So this isn't like a Comic Collector Geek where it's always on his channel and he invites Stepo to come on, where the award would go to Alan, as Stepo's always the guest on it. They alternate. So that one would be a tricky one where maybe we would need someone on the committee when we review it to see if we can sum up. And I'll talk with Brian from LCS if we can sum up both Nate's and Lettuce's to be one category or one nominee.
So I should put the Sunday Hangover show, right?
Yeah.
Do you have to put a channel associated with it though?
No, because like the other ones, you can see people are just putting names down, like CJ. There's when we review them, we'll put the people, sum them up if it's got different categories, different names. Like you saw before, there's people with multiple categories in there. It just depends on how people write it down. Which that's the part that makes it a little bit tricky, and people get confused on. They'll go back and see the nominations and see someone on there 3 times and might get a little bit worried that those might not roll up to just that one individual.
Got you. Okay, so I'm going to put the Hangover show. You guys can see this now, right?
Yep.
Okay, switch over. Okay. Best informative content, guides, deep dives, histories, analysis. Richard turned me on to these guys, and they're local, and I love their show now, and they're fantastic people. I'm going to nominate the Multiverse Report, Mike and Steve. They're a relatively smaller channel, but they do a great job at all that stuff. I don't think they're nominated yet, so I would love to give them their first nomination.
And like we talked about before, is the CBCA awards. The goal is to recognize people's hard work, get some awards out, and to highlight some unknown channels. So it gives them some sub counts, get them some views, get them some attention. So I think that's the purpose of the awards, and that's what it's been doing. Like what Coach said and everyone said before, you get introduced to new channels with the hashtag comic book community shoutouts and the CBCA awards.
I agree. Yes, that is the point. Best entertaining content: hauls, unboxing, reviews, videos, games, and skits. I wanted to nominate Outer World Comics this year. You guys ever watch his content?
I think I've seen some of it. There's so many guys that when it comes to unboxing, it's just like I eat that up because it's like, okay, what should I be buying that I don't have? I watch everybody's lists and then I pick from there.
Yeah, one thing I would always do before you start nominating is just making sure that people are going in their appropriate categories. Don't nominate Lunch Money Comics for any of these ones, as he's well outside the 0 to 500 subscribers.
Yep, I cross-checked before I have a whole pad and paper. Like when I went down, made sure they had the appropriate subscriber type, that their videos fit that category. I really tried to be as specific as possible because I realize it'll make your guys' job easier and give them a better shot, right? At being recognized. Make sure I'm in the right sub count. Now you got me wondering, Richard. Okay. Most engaging host. And these guys are underrated. They interview some awesome people and they're very good at it. My boys Rohan and JP of the Absolute Game of Nerds.
What's their sub count?
They're under 500.
Criminally underrated.
Criminally low. Yeah. They're like, I want to say 470 something.
It's weird what you get.
475.
It's weird what you get subs from. Really, a lot of my subs came from shorts. If I look at where I got my subs from, there was a point in time when that first year I was going heavy and I'm like putting out content at a consistent time. And then I was doing shorts every other day, sometimes every day. And that's where I was getting most of my subs from shorts. So it's weird what you can get your shorts from your subs from.
Which is interesting because I think that's a new category this year.
Mm-hmm.
Shorts.
Yep. I always wear shorts.
All right. So for the best new channel creator, a relatively new guy, but I love his passion, and he does some co-hosting with Big Nasty. But I like Chonko's Comics and Nerd Culture. You guys watch Chonko yet?
Oh yeah, I catch him and Eric at SideQuest, and Chonko was on last night with Crom, son of Crom.
Yeah.
He does the Midnight Monsters on Friday night. I watched that.
I'm pumped to see Crom nominated too. Like, he totally deserves it. He's been doing free comic book shows where you can just go in and free
on Tuesdays.
Yeah, claim
free Tuesday claim show. Yes, sir.
Once a month.
Yeah, absolutely. Rlcomics, my man. Okay, so going on to the mid-tier channels. Best comic book show, best ongoing series. I know he's probably already nominated already, but my boy Bleecker Street Comics for Bleecker Street Church, or for Church Sunday Church.
But right, what you were saying, Richard, if he just said, "Oh, I know he's been nominated," but you're going to categorize this and go, "Oh, we've got the top 5 nominated. These top people have the most nominations," and that's how you're going to determine who gets on the ballot, right?
For the second round. Yep.
So, Bleak Lead's a great show every Sunday. I've hopped on a couple times when I can. It's tough. That's like usually a family day.
So even if you think somebody's been nominated, you nominating them again is to hopefully to get them in there. That's the thing.
Right. Good call, Mr. Akins. We're really breaking it down for people. We're gonna this video is gonna be the how to nominate people and get in.
And one thing you'll notice also is like best new channel and underrated channel, or I think that was 2 categories last year, and it just got combined to this year, as there was a lot of overlap last year. I think both I can't remember who was in it, but I think like Dave, 3 out of the 5 people were the same on both those categories. So it's virtually the same thing. So we decided to combine those 2 together as unknown and new, hand in hand. So it creates an opportunity for a new category like shorts, or best man cave, or room tours.
Yep. I agree. I like that a lot too. I think we're going for that. Okay, so I put that in the wrong category before. That's the best live stream for Bleak. Best comic book show, ongoing series mid channels. I was going to go with my boy Martin. Aussie comic book collector. It takes a lot of dedication and passion. I love how he does his show. I love how he shows 4 books and then a key at the end, and he does it from a storage locker. Like, he is just literally surrounded with comics, and he's done the best he can to put up a display in there and make it comfy. So I think he's done a very good job and deserves to be recognized again. Okay, best informative content deep dive. I like this guy a lot. He knows Matt likes comics. I don't know if there's a guy out there with more DC comic info.
I was going to say the DC encyclopedia himself.
Yeah, he deserves to be in there. He goes on with Steppo. He goes on there with Alan, and he can stand up with the best of them. Hey, Roscoe, what's up, buddy? So I had to make sure he was recognized. Best entertaining content, hauls, unboxings. He entertains the hell out of me. Dope Comics, The Dope Show. He is a reader through and through. He really, watching his channel definitely encouraged me to read more and take dives into the stuff. And, I watched a couple, like his horror show breaking down where the best horror came from was a really good job. So I think.
And I really like his opinions on new books, especially. Because he'll straight up, hey, this I think his tagline is, "This book was garbage juice," and sometimes I 100% agree with him. So I respect his opinion. I like that he puts it out there bluntly and honestly.
Yes, I need someone to tell me if it sucks. Like, I don't want to go out and buy it or order it. More for me, it's ordering, and that's even worse. I have to wait for it to get here, and if it sucks, I'm like, oh crap. So, agreed, Doug. Most engaging host for this category. I gotta go. She was robbed last year. I gotta go with my girl K-pop junkie. She needs to be recognized. I don't think there's anyone other channel. Show me another channel out there that does more for independent comic book creators. Show me and link it to me, please. I'd love to see someone that puts in the time and effort that Katie does. I learned about so many great Kickstarters, and I've actually got a couple I'm waiting for because of Katie. And she needs to be in that conversation. She needs to take home the award this year for sure. Yeah, absolutely, Katie. You kidding me? And a huge Crow fan, so she's got that going for her. Am I doing good so far, guys? What do you think about the picks so far?
That's great.
Nice.
I like all of them. I mean, it's so difficult. It's a double-edged sword. Here's the other problem with the CBC awards. When you discover, like I did, so many new channels, the following year, now you have twice as many or 3 times as many channels to go through and figure out who to nominate. And it's tough sometimes because I want to say I like everybody equally, but there's definitely some channels that I tune into more often, either because of my schedule or because I've gotten to know those folks, whatever it is. But it can be tough to come down and pick like 2 channels between 2 channels that are in the same sub count range. And, like we were saying before, you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I mean, I know the voting's anonymous, but it's like, man, why can't I just vote for both?
I agree with you, Coach. I had the same thing. It was difficult for me because, it's like picking between I only have 1 child, but I have multiple cats, but it's picking between your favorite cat.
The Library 88 brought up some great channels. Some of these were in the running for me. Library 88, like Higgy Pop, definitely should be in the conversation. You see, I got Dope. I've never heard of Dr. Silver Age or Easy Comic Reader. Cheap Comic. I'm gonna write these down. Swag I've heard of. I gotta write these down because they're people I'll check out, man. And so we need that too. It's great that all these names are coming out.
What I really appreciated, and I think that Nate was one of them, when he was nominated for him, he said, don't vote for me. He goes, go check out one of my videos, go check out the other 4 people who were nominated, one of their videos, and vote for whichever one you think is best. So, like what you're seeing from Library 88, check out the other channels before you make a pick.
You got to watch, at least watch one video, like go to the most popular, filter it to the most popular and see like where they really knocked it out of the park and what people liked in the algorithm. I totally agree. That is totally the point. And that's what I said when I was lucky enough to make it to the finals last year. That was my pitch. It's just go check out everyone. I'm just happy to be, grateful to be even mentioned. And it's great to see your channel nominated, even nominated. Okay, so up to the major channels, 1K to 2K, best show ongoing series. This guy's got a freaking win this year. 22 Comics, top 10 alternatives. Michael deserves to be in this conversation. He deserves to win. He needs to be in there. I know Mr. Akins is a huge fan, and Michael does a lot of work to produce his shows and do what he does.
That's one of the shows I never miss. It's like my wife knows that on Monday night I'm going to be there watching that. Plus, I got to support, my Alabama boys. Got to stick together. But yes, I love it. It's a good. I like. He's very engaging. It's just him, and I love how he engages with the chat. It's almost like a lot of times you'll go on and like our format here, we've got a lot of people and we're really engaging with each other. Sometimes we can engage with the chat. There's a lot. He's like, he needs to chat because he's going to engage with you in the chat. It was just a good time. We just hang out, look at some alternatives to.
He is great at that. I'm poo at engaging with the chat. I try to put their messages up and read it when I can, but he is like, he makes it look easy, right?
Yeah, he does make it look easy. He does.
He does. I'm glad. Has anyone else on the panel watched 22 Comics?
Oh yeah,
I know Bigby has. Okay. All right. Okay.
My wife knows when I'm watching his show because she's like, "Is that the guy that laughs the entire time?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's the guy that laughs all the time."
Michael gets free entertainment for himself every week.
So Richard, do you know like Best Coast Comics? I'm not to 2000 yet, but my co-host is over 2000. So how are they gonna do that?
I don't.
That's a good question.
That's a very good question. I'll probably have to when we start tallying stuff up. We'll probably have to talk with Brian from LCS and see how we want to handle that when we have two hosts, because I know we're doing it on your channel, on Bronze's channel, and on the EXP channel as well.
Right.
So different sub counts. I'm not sure how we would approach that, but that's something that we would probably decide on when we start tallying it up.
I like it. This is great. God, we have to have a committee member every year to this show. We're just gonna.
Right.
This is the lineup, guys. Everyone come back next year. Maybe we'll toss it around and do everyone's nominations instead of just mine.
If I may, I just wanted to shout out the other comic book community members. Brian, of course, from LCS, Cliff on Comics, Kingdom of Nerds, channel I did not know about. I subbed him up when he was on the committee. Still only 35 cents. Bo from Aussieverse, myself, Dr. Ebony and Carla from the Aurora podcast, and then another fan, Derek Neiman. I don't think Derek has a channel.
No, I see him in a lot of chats, though.
Yep.
But no, thank you for the shout out. That's good.
To become a committee member, Richard, you just reached out to Brian, LCS.
Yeah, I think on one of the pages at the end, you can contact and you can just put a request in to be a committee member. I can briefly explain how I got on the committee, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah,
sure.
After the awards ceremony last year, I gave some constructive criticism to Brian, positive and negative. So, just wanted it to get better and improve. And then a few months ago, he asked me, and it was mutual. I was going to reach out anyways to be on the committee. So it was a privilege for him to reach out to be on the committee and get accepted.
No, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, if anyone in the chat, if you watch the awards from last year, you watch this year, and you've got some, you think you can do something good to help out with Brian in the community, do what Richard did. Reach out and put your input in. But moving along, best live stream. These guys were finalists last year. I'm going to get them back in there again, I hope. Comic Book Canon. This is a wonderful Jeff, Joe, and Josh show. And I love their show. It's every Sunday at 8. But they do a great job of, breaking down the news. That's everything that's comic book news coming out. They do great history tidbits of comics. Josh does a lot of the news, field reporting. They have guests on. And then what I really love, they're fresh from the comic shop, where they encourage their viewers to take pictures of their favorite comics, whether it be posed with action figures or in the wild or wherever you want to make it unique. And then they have if your story tugs at the heartstrings, that gives you a little extra points, and they have a vote, and then the winner, they send a prize to the winner, and they do this throughout the year, and then they have one for the final for the year. But it's a really great, smart way to engage your chat, right? Is to have them taking pictures and send them to Instagram, and I think that's a really cool show, and they're hilarious too. I had them on the Big Five Live, and I couldn't stop laughing because they were just busting my chops the whole time. They are very, very funny guys. I got to meet them at Terrificon, and they're awesome. So they are my pick for that, guys. I need help on the best informative content for this for this category. Deep dives, history, and analysis. The people I wanted to use were above the sub count for this. So does anyone have any great suggestions, either in the chat, 1K to 2K subscribers, best informative content, guides, deep dives, history, and analysis? Anyone that comes to your mind, guys, right off the bat? Codex Station. Oh my God. There it is.
They're criminally undersubbed too.
Dude, they read more comics combined.
Uncle Gary, literally the library of comics is what they call, I think, his basement. But, the dude has everything. Everything.
But like all of them read, like I'll go on. And I've been on their Saturday night show, and like they're getting new comic book pickups, and all of them will be like, oh, that story was great, or that story sucked. Like they're all reading everything new that comes. I can't keep up with it. It boggles my mind. Good call on the Codex Station.
Colossus came through. Ask and ye shall receive.
Yeah, right. I forgot about their sub count. Okay. Moving on to the best entertaining content: hauls, unboxing, reviews, reaction videos, and skits. I went with my buddy Bigby. For his hauls, unboxings, all the collections that you get calls about. I love those videos. And you come across some stellar ones that have put some big books into your collection.
I would veto that nomination and say Paperchasecomics.
You want to put them in?
I he deserves it. His hauls and stuff are amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I love you, buddy. Thank you for thinking of me, but I would put Paperchase in there.
Good call. Good call. Those guys are great. They get a lot of, didn't he? He just had a great video where he got like a crazy collection, and I think.
Yeah, he gets some amazing stuff.
Is he within the sub count from 1K to 2K?
I think he's at like 1,800.
Are you sure?
Let me take a look again. I was just looking.
I'm just looking, man. Not buying anything. I'm just looking.
No, dude, he can't. It's got to be you, Bigby. He's got 6.35.
Does he? Did I just totally get that wrong? All right, never mind. Go ahead,
Bigby. You're in.
Put me in. Oh, yeah,
Bigby, you're in. Paperchase 6K.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought he was lower.
See, I looked at them too, Bigby, but then I saw they were at that, that number.
But you're not wrong, Bigby. Some of his collections are. Yeah.
That's why I looked. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there. If you're a dad, my panel, my chat, I'm going to work overtime to start Father's Day off. It's going to be great at 5 a.m. I can't wait. All right. Most engaging host that excels at interviews, hosting auctions, and or engaging content. Where did I miss someone, guys? Let me just make sure.
And this was another one that we redid on the committee to include auctions on here. Because selling is part of the hobby as well.
Hold on, guys. I just want to make sure my pick is legitimate.
So this has got interviews, hosting auctions, and or guest engagement. It can be any one of these.
Any one of them, yep.
Yeah, just have the Colossus Collector, Council of X.
He's a great host, but he's put together a great. I mean, there's so many people that come on that show. He engages great. He puts a lot of work into it. Let's face it, his animation and editing is top notch too.
Yeah, he always comes up with really good ideas to engage everybody in an activity. It's almost like he's a teacher. He's got activity, and it's always something different. He's going to have something new, and I really enjoyed his when he got the panel together to create a new X-Men. An X-Man character. That was really cool. And his animation on that was and his character was really good. And everybody else's characters were really good. I was really interested to see what people would come up with because I knew Eric from SideQuest was on that panel. And I know he is a role player. You know, he makes up characters all the time. So I was really impressed with some of the other people that weren't role players and coming up with that backstory for some of those characters. I was like, these guys would really be really good playing some role-playing games with coming up with some of those backstories and those characters. So that was really good. That's just one of the things he does. He always comes up with some new something to engage the people that are on his panel.
That video did not disappoint.
And he had the balls to ask Claremont to do an opening for his channel.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I doubt Chris Claremont's given a channel, done an opening or something for a YouTube channel. I've never seen another YouTube channel that featured him, saying something.
No, I haven't either.
All right, so that takes care of the overall, tiered categories. Now, this is anyone. This can be the smallest channel to the biggest channel. And we start out with biggest channel supporter. So Richard, I nominated you last year for biggest channel supporter. This year, I'm gonna swing off. I still love you, but JSS Brooklyn, I'm gonna give him his time to shine this year. Because
that's a great one. I would say Richard. I would say Christina Payne also.
Yeah, I mean the top three to me are Richard, JSS, and Christina Payne.
How about this, Brandon? Which category so far has been hardest to nominate somebody? To me, this one is always the hardest because these people are supporting you.
This was the toughest. This one was the toughest between Richard and JSS. But I threw Richard mine last year. I'll throw JSS this year, and I'll throw it to someone different next year. I thought that was the most fair way to do it. Because it's a tough one. It's tough just fitting them in the categories as far as like the sub counts, right? Because like a lot of the channels that I like, a couple that I saved for this last part is because they have the subs over 2K, right? That's the toughest part. What were you going to say, Richard?
I was actually going to remove myself from consideration for this since I'm on the committee and I was going to be going on people's shows and promoting the CBCA awards. I just didn't want any sort of conflict of interest. So
this is the one category I would say that shouldn't matter because you're a supporter, you're not a creator. In my mind, that's how I think. Like,
see, I was going to think the complete opposite, where I'm just a fan and I enjoy what I do, but a lot of people, they're putting in a lot of hard work. So for them to be on the committee and to get nominations, they should still be recognized for their work. All I'm doing is just, typing what I feel in the chat and helping out. But I just didn't want any conflict of interest. But I think that the YouTube content creators should still be nominated. But myself, I wanted to take myself out of consideration. No conflict of interest.
Fair enough.
But just so we're clear, Richard, we all love you anyway.
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay, so best on-screen present, favorite hands, mustache, facial hair, or hair. How do I put the Bronze Age nerd for his beard? Because that's who I wanted. Just Bronze Age nerd.
Bronze Age nerd.
His beard is freaking epic. And I used to have a beard not that big, but it was big, and I miss it. So I live vicariously through him. So I think he deserves it. Favorite community artist, amateur artists who have not been published professionally. Now, I had a question about
this is another difficult category because there are a lot of great artists in the community.
Would Up and Adam Comics be considered an artist for the AOKs he sent out with art on them?
How can he not be?
How about Travis from Comics Limited?
Travis is another good.
Travis also.
Travis was in my thought. Yeah.
This one was hard for me when I did mine because I met a lot of artists and I'm really big into the art side. I mean, of course, we all love everything about comics, but I really love art that I can put on my wall, look at it, enjoy. And some of the people that I've met don't have YouTube channels. So it's like, I know this is kind of to get them exposure, but some of them only have Instagram. So this was tough to try and go find who's doing both to fit into this award, into these awards.
All right. Fair enough.
This was the difficult one for me. I had to skip this one and continue down the list and go back to it. This was the most difficult category for myself.
It's funny that I did the same thing, Richard. I picked this one because there's so many that are great artists out there. I just can't pick. I just wait for the nominations to come out, and okay, now I can pick from these 5.
Right. All right. I would say thank you to Colossus and Derek for shouting me out.
So, I've actually got Trav for another category. So I don't know if I want to spread it out because I do like.
Nerdy Musings as well. James is great.
Nerdy Musings is great. James is great. Is it Nerdy Musings? Just Nerdy Musings or Nerdy Musings Pod? What's his channel under?
Nerdy Musings Podcast is his channel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I actually had Travis for this. Travis puts a lot of work into his shorts, and I like them a lot. His daily dose of Kirby had me on it all the time.
New category.
Mr. Higgins has some great shorts.
Yeah.
Haven't been putting out that much content lately, so
it's all right. It's not about how much you're putting out.
He does have great shorts. Don't make me choose. Okay, best comic book or omnibus review. This was a new one, right?
This was, I think, combining two.
Combining, okay.
Yeah, we had best comic book and omnibus that were separate, but they're virtually the same thing. An omnibus is just a collection of comic books. So this freed up opportunities for new shorts and other brand new categories. All
right, and I found a channel. I'd like you all to go to check this gentleman out. It is Nominating Comics, and all he really does is review. He's not nominated yet. So I just like to get him recognized because I found him just searching through stuff with the ether. He has like 1.3K subscribers, and he reviews omnis a lot. Like, you definitely check him out in the chat.
I'd always thought about dope comics, and I think Coach had talked about this, that his review of new comics actually makes me want to read some of the newer comics, because he's going to give you,
or stay far away from them.
Or stay far away from them. That's the thing. He's going to review it and go, it's either, well, sometimes he says they're so bad, it makes me want to go and read them just to see how bad they are.
Yeah, he's very passionate about it, and I like that. For the best statue or toy review, man, I'd like to see him win this year. He was up against Gem Mint so many times, Mad Spidey, because he was in the same category. My boy Simon from Down Under, he's a sweetheart.
Well, I think Gem Mint was put into the Hall of Fame.
Right, yeah, so he can't win it again, right?
Yeah, Gem Mint was put into the Hall of Fame.
I thought that was a great idea too. I thought, like, if you've won enough, like you've won a lot, Hall of Fame it, give other people a chance. I thought they did a lot of great changes this year that opened it up for more people to have a chance to win. You do see, I mean, Comic Tom and Gem Mint, these big channels are winning with huge subs. So I thought that was a great change. Lots of great new stuff this year. Cleaning and pressing. Let's go with our new boy, Pressedcomics. My buddy Matt. He didn't even know he was nominated already today. And I was texting with him because he sent some books out to CGC for me he worked on. And I was like, congrats on your nomination. He's like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, dude, go check it out. So there's another nomination for you, my friend. Now, there's some of the great. Jerry the Jitterbugs retired. Liberty Comics is another great channel I like to watch too. We're pressing cleaning. Our buddy Jeff from Comic Spot does not have a channel, but he'd be in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this guy, I've never seen him be the finalist, but I think he needs to be because he does this religiously, and that's Mighty Comics and Collectibles, Lawrence. He does a lot of great, like, I don't do that stuff, but the amount of research that people have to put into it to figure that stuff out, I commend. And Lawrence does it every week. And does it really well. And I'm surprised his name's never been in the finalist mix. So hopefully with enough nominations, we can get him there. Anyone else watch Lawrence? He does some funny news stuff too.
Mm-hmm. He does the funny news stuff. He's one of the few that still, how many people are still doing skits? I know Ricky had kind of gotten us into doing skits.
Mm-hmm.
And since, Ricky hasn't been posting as much lately, I kind of fell off doing the skits myself, but I enjoyed it. It kind of pushed the envelope. I felt more than any other channel, and I don't know anybody that does skits as much as he does. He's the one that does skits.
He inspired me to try to do some skits and stuff. I've actually got a new skit I want to do coming up, just thinking about for the books I got, and I was because it you could do regular talk about comics, into the ether, all that stuff. But if a skit can be a nice opening,
Mm-hmm.
A different way.
One you did with the Batman mask.
I didn't like that one. Yeah, I look back.
I loved it.
I like the one where I imitated my wife more. But I'm gonna take on another persona in my next one, and I thought it out, and I think it's gonna be funny. I can be funny. I just don't break it out often. I don't know. It doesn't translate well to film for me. So hopefully I can break that. Oh yeah, Colossus Collector's Wallet.
Yeah,
that one was awesome for me. I like that one a lot.
He cracks me up with it. The wallet is a character that it was so smart, and what he does with it makes me laugh a lot.
No.
If his wallet was everyone, I'd go. I'd nominate him for funniest.
I think it's funny what you said, Brandon, that you didn't like it, but then other people like it. It's funny that you put something out there and you go, "Oh, this is junk," and then you get a bunch more views, and then you put a lot of work into something. You know, this is going to be great, and I'm like, "Where are the views on this? I put a lot of work into this." It's just weird.
I think I talked about it on another one of my live streams. Like I did I wanted to do more in-depth dives, and I did the Fin Fang Foom one, and only got 280 views. Which is still good for like a smaller channel, but like I started doing one on the Mandarin and I had 15 hours into it with DaVinci Resolve and I lost it. I lost the whole thing. And it just turned me off from doing anymore because I was like, I can't. DaVinci allows you to do more than iMovie, but I might just go back to doing it in iMovie and doing what I can with it and just giving information. Thanks, Matt. What do we got next, guys? Moving along, we've got the best live stream. Oh wait, you know what? I screwed up. That's where I screwed up. Okay, so I wanted Colossus. Man, I wanted either.
See what I said? There's so many people that could be that are strong candidates for just that category, and you can't put all their names down.
Right. It was between. I like Mad Spidey. Spidey's Out Back. I like the Sunday Hangover Show. I like Colossus Collector. Best PGX slab collector. Thanks. I was good. I was like, you could make a channel out of
live stream.
Dude, what's that?
I said Best Coast Comics is a live stream.
Yeah,
Best
I was
Coast
about to say
Comics.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So Biggie's. I was going to make a channel just on buying PGX books and cracking them and submitting to CBS or CGC. And see what happens. All right.
I wanted to shout out on your cleaning and pressing. I really like Immaculate Comics.
Oh, yes.
He invents a whole bunch of tools and has those available to people to order from him to help with their working on books. And then, I like Bryce for speculation. So
I like it. Well, Best Coast Comics got the vote for best live stream. Most innovative content creator, pushing boundaries and content stuff. Now, this person I wanted to nominate for some lower awards, but they blew through their subs in over a year. And you can't. You have to recognize this person's passion. It's Gotham and Glam. Celia has come onto the scene. She is making so many different types of videos. Her thumbnails always catch me, and she's really passionate about her comics. I was, again, she has gotten over 2K subs so quick that it took her out of the running for a lot of stuff. But you go look at her content, look at the different types of videos she's trying to put out. And some videos she hits home. Most of the videos she hits home runs on, and they all can't be bangers, but most of the stuff she does well on. So Celia needs to be in that conversation this year for sure. Improve comic collecting. Good point too, Dave. Absolutely there.
Hey, Big Five Live is a great live stream too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, guys, but I will nominate others. Oh, Beto Comics for best comeback channel. Yeah, we need a best comeback channel. He's back. He's our youngest.
Right.
Before we had Next Gen Collector, he's the next one. He's coming on the Big Five Live next weekend. I asked him because he was on my very first one, so he needs to come back on. He's going to be all grown up and be like, I got a girlfriend.
He's engaged. What?
He is.
He's engaged. He's got a band. I mean, come on.
Time flies. Awesome. Time flies. Okay, so best tour video, because this gentleman does some great shops. Like we can do shops, right? Shops, cons, stuff like that. Dave.
There we go.
Dave does a lot he'll show you shops all over the world. And then he'll focus on shows in Australia and stuff. And Dave's just a wonderful content creator and a great guy. And he should be in the what's up? There she is. Yeah, of course.
Did somebody say Gotham and Glam?
Did someone put up the bat signal for you, Celia? No, you deserve it, girl. You worked hard at it, and it's showing. So good work on that. So Dave for best tour video, still only 35 cents. Most comedic. I know he's not making videos, and if anyone else has any other suggestions, he hasn't made a ton of videos because he's got a new house and stuff. But Ricky, all sorts of words, man. I think he got robbed last year.
Are you not seeing his stuff? He just came out with a new video.
He came out with a new video today, but it hasn't been as consistent as he was last year.
Yeah. No, but he
was on Son of Crumb's Midnight Monsters last night as well.
He was?
Showed off some cool stuff. Yeah.
He's going in.
I think you get to a point where, you know, it's almost easier to do a live, to continue to be out there and alive, than it is to make content. But you're right. I think he does have really entertaining content because he's going to do something other than what I'm doing here. Here's another comic. Here's another comic.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to talk about more entertaining things that you didn't think about.
And he just had his new book come out. So,
yes.
You know, plug for him on that.
Yep. Something off. Yep. Okay, guys.
If you're thinking the same person I'm thinking on this one.
Yeah, I think everybody's thinking the same person. And does this person not want to be nominated that we're thinking of?
Shout it out.
Son of Crom.
Son of Crom.
Son of Crom. I agree. That's who I had. He has done more for the community and trying to build it up through his Comic Collector of the Year contest he started last year. He's been doing it this year. The comic Kumite. I mean, he tries to do a ton of lives with a ton of different people as much as he can. And his passion he's doing free comic book shows because he just wants to keep giving comic books away. I think he's just a wonderful person, and we're lucky to have him in this. And he was so much fun last year around Christmas time when he was doing the comic collector thing. And yeah, he deserves to be in there. Yeah, Son of Crom. Get an Instagram so we can DM you there. That's all I ask. All right, guys. Comic Book Community Channel of the Year. I don't know if you guys watch this guy. He has, let me just let me look him up. He became one of my favorites the way he presents videos. So he has his oldest video is just 1 year old. He's got 3.61 subs. He does a lot of educational stuff, a lot of informative stuff, and I think he deserves to be in the mix. And that's Raf's Rlcomics.
Yes, he does a really good job with his video.
He's on his screen presence. He's kind. He shows up to people's stuff. He's engaged. But just like, you know, I mean, he got me with the Silver Age monster stuff, like that. He hit it out of the rare Marvel comics from the 60s. But he does a lot of breakdowns of DC cover artists, DC 100 pagers, 1950s EC, Marvel. I mean, he just runs the gambit of everything, and I think he really deserves to be in there. So I hope some other people see this and nominate him so we can get him there. And the last category, then we'll show some books to the chat. Comic Book Community Hall of Fame, a channel with 5+ years on YouTube. And this is a guy that I have followed since my inception, and really positive guy. And I don't think his name's ever been in books, but Alex, the Comic Book Hoarder. You guys ever watch Alex?
Alex, the Comic Book Hoarder, is the whole reason I started a channel. I was watching. He was one of the first people I ever watched, and he basically said, if you've got a phone and some comics, you can also have a comic book channel.
I think he inspired Mike from Lunch Money too. I think Mike was watching him and the Comicaholics, they're friends, and I think he inspired him too. Is it Alex the Comic Book Hoarder? Is that his full YouTube name?
It's Alex the Comic Hoarder.
The Comic Hoarder. Okay. Yeah. All right. So there's my submissions for this year, guys. Thanks for the help on that. I think we did well. I think we picked out some deserving channels and people, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Alex deserves Hall of Fame. He's been 8 years, guys. So
has he been 8 years?
Wild.
Yeah. Send me a copy of my responses and submit. Oh God.
Are these bicycles? Where are all the bicycles?
I always wonder if the handle counts. Does the handle and seat count?
We're about to find out if it counts.
Yes, it counted. All right, guys. So let's remove that. Let's get us back up. Who's got some books to show? Who wants to go first? The chat is now going to see some books.
I've got a short stack. I mean, I know a couple of you guys said you had one or two. So if you want me to knock out the stack real quick and then everybody can go quick, I can do that.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right. Well, this first one I actually just got in the mail today. It's not super special. I don't think there's anything special about it. I mean, I don't know anything about it. It's War of the Worlds 27. But the reason that I bought it, for all you Marvel Value Stamp fans out there, is it is the Man Thing MVS.
Yes, it is.
So I needed to have that as a Man-Thing guy. I just picked this up this week. I know I'm a little behind the curve on it, but it's the Cold Day in Hell #2, the Del Auto variant.
Oh, sexy.
Awesome story. The art's killer, of course. Del Auto can do no wrong, I don't think. But if you're not reading Cold Day in Hell and you're a Daredevil fan, then immediately go get it. Staying on the Daredevil train, I picked up this sweet little gem, Daredevil 158, Frank Miller's first work on Daredevil.
Yep.
Contributing toward my Daredevil run of 1 through 380. And then I picked this up on somebody that everybody knows and loves, claim sale on Instagram. Chillectables had this Daredevil annual #4, which I didn't have. So I picked that up. And then somebody had suggested, and I think it was a couple weeks ago, Brandon, when I was live with you, or maybe it was on Instagram, somebody had suggested the Alex Ross work on The Shadow.
Ooh, no.
So I ran to eBay. Look at this terrible glare. I got it in a comic collection. Let me pull it out here because it's ran to eBay and found the first one that I could. But look at that. Like, if you're a The Shadow fan and an Alex Ross fan, how can you not have this thing? This thing is bananas awesome. And then, going with my #1 guy of all time, Moon Knight, I also am keeping on the Alex Ross train. I had to get the timeless cover variant. Moon Knight that just came out a few weeks ago. It is everything that you would hope it would be from an Alex Ross version of Moon Knight. But that's basically everything that I picked up semi-recently.
That was a good stack. That was some bangers. Smoke if you got them. That was great. All right. Let's have Akins. Did you pull some?
Yeah, I pulled some stuff. Recently, I got my buddy that I knew when I was a kid that collected comics. He had them in it was really a barn garage. He said, "Do you want these?" So I've been going up there, grabbing long boxes. He's probably got about 10 long boxes of stuff. And I'm rebagging, reboarding all his stuff. And so right now I'm rebagging and reboarding all his Teen Titans, some George Perez, Marv Wolfman goodness here. So he's 19, 20. I can't wait to start reading these. I'm just now going through his box of all these. I think this is the first appearance of Night Force, which is a minor key. Brother Blood. So I'm really looking forward to going through these and rereading these. I read these back in the 80s. And I can't wait to reread them. Once I get through rebagging and reboarding his collection, I'm going to start reading these. So I just grabbed a handful of them. So yeah, you got some George Perez goodness, the master of the crowd shot himself, George Perez. So I just grabbed that little stack right there.
That was some good stuff.
So I've been going through his collection, rebagging and reboarding. I think I've gone through so far about 5 long boxes of his stuff. Now he says he wants to give it to me. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'll just rebag and reboard it and keep it in your stuff. And every time I see him, he's like, "Hey, grab another long box. Take it home because you're going to appreciate it way more than I will." So I've been kind of waiting till I get done with all that to maybe do a video about it. Say, hey, go through all his stuff, and this is the stuff he had that's been sitting in the barn for 30 years.
Yeah, you got to make it. That's a banger video, dude. Like, that's a great story, and you get to talk about all sorts of different books that are just all of a sudden there. It's free content. I miss you making videos on the regular. I miss Akins videos. I remember I was taking drives to Watertown, New York last year, and I was just putting everyone's channels on for watch hours, just trying to get their watch hours. Akins is on for 2 hours. Richard, you bought a book tonight. What do you got, man?
Yeah, this actually just came in the mail today. It was an A-OK. Richard, thank you for your support from us and the whole community. Got this signed for you by Jim Calaforte. Hope you like it, from the Codex team.
Nice.
So Jim Calaforte went to, I think, Comic Logic, I think was the comic book store last week. And you can see his signature right there.
That is sick.
That's cool. Then they also wrote on top of here, "Lobo sucks." if you're ever on a YouTube and you mention Lobo, I'm going to respond with Lobo sucks because he kicked Dexter the cat. And so I thought this was amazing. This was a great AOK from the Codex team. So it was great that you guys nominated him for your show, Brandon.
Absolutely. JP from Absolute Game and Nerds is going to cry when he watches this. Lobo is like his favorite.
I message him all the time with that.
He's putting his chips on Jason Momoa for making that movie good when it comes out. Bigby, did you bring anything, buddy?
Yeah,
nice new setup.
Stuff. You want to see recent stuff or bangers?
Let's go bangers.
All right. Well, this is the recent one and a banger.
Whoa, that's a really nice shape.
Lettuce Comics has entered the chat.
Dude, what kind of condition is that in?
It's about a 7.5, maybe an 8. It's got a tiny split at the very bottom.
Man,
Christmas.
This is evidence of how you can work your way up the chain and get better books. So I was flipping and selling smaller stuff. Picked up first Peanuts in comic or first Peanuts titled book. And the guy over at Future Past Collectibles saw that, and he is really into funny books, and that book doesn't come up a lot. And he's like, "Hey, I have a book I think you want," and so we made a trade. So
wow,
your
like collection is
small book,
nutty,
medium book, bigger book, and yeah. So there's that. You guys all know that. Well, most of you guys know the story about this one.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
that's good too.
This is at the end of all my videos, I always say share your love of comics with everyone you meet. You never know where it will lead you. So I talk to everybody about my love of comics and that I have a YouTube channel and everything. And I was talking to a guy at work, and I work in construction, so I work with other people that from other companies a lot. And I mentioned comics, and he said, I used to collect comics back in the 90s. And he says, I have an X-Men number 5 that I picked up back in the day. And I was like, okay. And he started describing it. He's like, yeah, it's red. It's got Magneto on the cover. And I'm like, you mean X-Men 4? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I'm not attached to it. If you're interested in it, I'd be willing to. I have that and a lot of books I got in the 90s I'd like to get rid of. And so I was like, here's my number. And can I get yours? And we just started texting back and forth. And about a year went by. I thought nothing was going to come of it. And one day I got a text and he said, hey, I'm ready. Come on over. I got everything laid out in the garage. And so,
what's the grade on that? Colossus is wondering.
It's, I'd say maybe a 4 or 5. It's got, it's got somebody, 14 cents. Somebody knew the value. It was worth 2 cents more than what was on the cover. On the cover there.
Claim.
Colossus claims
just
it.
claimed it.
This one, speaking of Travis from Comics Limited, he helped me get this one last year.
Yeah, show it off.
I mean, he's Bigby flexing.
I asked if you wanted to see bangers or new stuff.
I am never going to be upset about seeing a Fantastic Four #1 in somebody's actual hands and not just for sale somewhere.
Right. Travis messaged me. Some people at his church knew that he was into comics, and they said, we have a collection that our families had in our possession since the Golden Age. They had a lot of Golden Age books too. And he messaged me. He's like, you won't believe what's in here. He's like, there's an FF #1. And he told them his suggestion was that they should get it graded if they wanted to max out the money. And they said they didn't want to spend the time or the money to get it graded. They just wanted to move it. And they asked him if he knew anybody who wanted to buy it right away. And I was like, me? Dibs. So, so there we go.
Yeah, that's a beauty. I love that you have that.
Yeah, I'm super happy to have that in my collection. Thank you, Travis. There's a first Wasp. Got that from Collecto 6. A really high grade copy. It's probably 992. So happy to pick that one up from
the step I want to get out of that. It's like this measly 9.2. I need to get.
Yeah, right.
Actually, a lot of the books that I traded with Steppo on, he had doubles of. This one was one he had, I think, doubles or triples of. He had a slab and 2 raws. And, so I got the lowest grade one he had.
Jiminy Christmas.
Not as big of a banger. A couple of these I got from Dan's X-Men Comics, but minty copy
Nice.
of G.I. Joe.
Yo, Joe.
Number 20.
Larry Hama, silent issue, right?
Right. Luke Cage. Just tell me when to stop.
Classic.
Let me see. I'm going to grab one more, then I'll stop.
Happy Father's Day, Nate.
One more, Bigby, and then you're gonna have to cut it. You're gonna have to cut it
One
off.
more.
I've got 3 books to show in there in any of those, so it'll be easy.
All right. There we go. Go with the really cool cover.
Yeah.
There we go.
Is that Steranko?
Yes.
Yes.
With Marie Severin on the face. Steranko's face was too scary, they said. So
It's so funny when you say that. I have the Man Thing issue 2 signed by Jim Starlin, and he did a great Man Thing, but there was one of the guys' pictures on that cover. They didn't like the face, so they had Marie Severin redo the face on that as well. So I guess Marie Severin is there you go. All right, now for my so these actually came from Alex the Comic Order. He had a claim sale. Every once in a while he'll do a claim sale, and you aren't going to find someone doing sale. Many other people that do condition as well as Alex, but also his pricing. He's very, very fair with his pricing. But he threw in a freebie. The freebie was the best Archie comics ever, #1. And he said, thanks, Brandon. Hope you enjoy these. I included an exclusive I did with Archie a few years ago. I didn't know we worked on comics. Did you guys?
you can do exclusive covers for your channel.
So there you go.
So that's for his channel.
So that's what he did. So that makes sense. So thanks for the freebie, Alex. And then I got 2, of course, I got monster books, but Strange Tales issue 90. Probably like a 3.0, he said, but that's okay. I really wanted this one, not only because of my fascination with these books, but Orgo, this creature. I got to read this. I can't wait to, because Orgo was recently used in, well, not recently, a modern comic, the Howling Commandos of S.H.I.E.L.D., where Dum Dum Dugan heads up like a ragtag group of different like supernatural characters for agents, and Orgo is one of them, and Man Thing is of course another one of them. So I wanted to get his original appearance. So I actually have a Strange Tales issues 88, which is Zootak, 89, which is Fin Fang Foom, and then this one. So I've got a nice little run started in the 80s to 90s. You can't look at this freaking art, Kirby. So, and this was $40. He charged $40 for it. You can't find these books that cheap. Usually if they're that cheap, they're really banged up. And the only other book I got from him was Tales of Suspense issue 22. And he graded this at about a 2.0. And the reason is because it has a hole punch up here. But it doesn't bother me at all. Like for $20, it was $20 for this. Like I couldn't say no. So it's got Brutu, and some people on a Subway. Brutu. Great trade dress. I'm a sucker for the 10-cent bubbles for the cost. So, right. Alex, thank you for this. If you watch these 2 for $60 was more than fair, and a freebie. So that's what I got this week, guys. But
did you end up finishing your Marvel Dragon run?
I've got like a couple left, Richard. I've got like, I've kind of been like saving that, like it's in the back of my, kind of been just, I haven't bought a ton of comics lately. I'm saving for family vacations, saving more like that. I've been like any like comics I bought lately have been newer comics to read. I've been ordering like newer comics to read that I've been obsessed with, and reading books. Hey, Mike. So yeah, but guys, thanks for jumping on tonight. Oh, go ahead. What, Bigby?
Can I do shout out to 2 other people real quick, just by showing some books real quick?
Yes.
First of all, Son of Crom with his giveaway show. I want to show some stuff real quick, just so you guys know. You guys need to get in there on what's the second Tuesday of every month. Just bookmark it, get the notification. I'm going to show you some books. These were all free. Okay. All he asks is that you pay the shipping to get them to you. That's the first appearance of the Red Hood. Jason Todd.
Yep.
This is the Bryce Comics exclusive Red Hulk #1. Pretty valuable. Ultimate Wolverine. Bryce Comics. Some facsimiles. We got like Justice League America, Green Lantern.
Heck yeah.
Conan #8.
Yeah, I wanted that one. I didn't get it.
And this one, Mr. Akins and I did a trade because he was faster on the trigger than I was. Absolute Batman, the foil Jim Lee, Virgin variant. So yeah, so Son of
I
Crom.
traded that for God Loves Man Kills.
That's right. I got a God Loves Man Kills at a antique store, and Mr. Akins was interested in that, so we did a swap, and yeah. And then our friend Travis Comics Limited. I just want to show a couple books. Amazing guy. He does whatnot shows almost every week. So these books I picked up from him. I think I paid like maybe $3 a piece for them, $3 or $4. These are J. Scott Campbell black and white sketch variants. Now, that one's not J. Scott, but and then these ones were like, these are like buyer's giveaway, great things he's done. Signed J. Scott Campbell Magic cover.
Those are sick.
Another signed J. Scott Campbell Magic cover.
Thanks, Ryan, for the super chat. That is what we agreed on. That comes out to about $6.66 US. So that was the agreed price for my vote. So
more signed Campbell covers.
Jeez.
And a 9.8 signed Campbell cover where I won that as a Buyer's Appreciation Award. So check out Comics Limited on Whatnot and check out his channel on YouTube. He's awesome. So I just wanted to shout those guys out.
No, they deserve shout outs. They are wonderful people. But guys, thank you for joining me tonight while we did dominations and bringing some books. Thank you, Richard, for being a committee member that was able to come on tonight and answer some questions. I think it's really helpful. And I think if anyone else in the chat, if Richard's willing to reach out to him, if you want to have him on a show and promote the awards, it's a great thing. We got to keep promoting these awards. They are great. Everyone in my chat, please go sub up these channels if you haven't yet. Bigfby the Comic Guy, What's on the Comic Rack, and the Comic Collector Coach, Doug Botkin. And yeah, go to cbcawards.com. You can cast your votes, your nominations, and then that closes on August. What is it, Richard?
I forget the
August
actual
2nd
date on that one. There's still plenty of time.
Yeah, August 2nd.
So you can nominate till August 2nd, and then they'll announce the finalists for each category, and the voting takes place. And then the beginning of November is the award show. And yeah, it's good because Brian was going after Christmas with that in previous years, and I think it put a lot of stress. You know, that's a lot of work to do around the holidays. So go check all that stuff out, cbcawards.com. You can also go on Instagram and check stuff out, and go to the CBC Awards YouTube channel. But guys, what's up, Bigby?
One other thing, I wanted to shout out that Bronze Age Nerd and I are going to be doing the big fundraiser for the Mission 22 coming up here in 2 weeks. So if you guys can check that out, that'd be awesome.
Dueling Blue Wrenches. Yes, check that out. It's a great cause. And we'll have the Big Five live next week with some awesome folks. So everyone in the chat, thank you for showing up tonight, hanging out. Anyone who catches us on the rewind, we really appreciate y'all. And thanks to my panel for agreeing to come on a Saturday night. I'm going to go talk to these guys backstage for a bit before I go to bed for overtime in the morning. 5 a.m., I'm going to clean a pool. It's going to be awesome. So have a good night, everyone. Oh, thanks, Obito. That gets you a
Obito. We were just talking about you. Hopefully your ears were burning.
You got to save your money for your wedding, dude, because I just found out you're engaged. So thank you, Obito. That was very kind of you. Later, guys.